You're watching Tennessee Titans today. I am Tom Downing. We have the latest for you on some Todd Downing replacements as Tennessee's finally dumped the, let's call it what it was, not very good play caller. We're going to have you guys covered with all of the latest on this offensive coordinator search, a pivotal one for Tennessee. So make sure you guys are subscribed. Hit that sub button for us right now. As I'm sure everyone heard yesterday, Tennessee has made the move to dump Todd Downing as the offensive coordinator. And expected, but maybe some anxiety waiting for the move since it took until Monday at like 4 p.m. to make that move official, kind of the late evening news dump, whatever it was. Todd Downing fired along with offensive line coach Keith Carter, which makes sense. O-line was terrible this year. Secondary coach and offensive skills assistant as well, so some overhaul there. The Titans offense, to be blunt, was offensive to watch. Now, look, quarterback injuries, a big part of that, but they were 28th in points per game, 30th in yards per game, 30th in passing yards. They ran the ball decently. They were around league average in turnovers. Todd Downing simply could not find a way to get the offense to be productive. He had to go. There was no way you could justify, as good of a coach as I think Mike Vrabel is, by the way, there's no way you can justify bringing back Todd Downing. It was not going to happen. Now the question becomes, who do you hire to replace Todd? And there are some internal candidates. One in particular stands out to me. Also plenty of external options. So we're going to break down the top 10 Todd Downing replacements here on Titans Today, beginning with number 10. That is Brian Johnson, the Eagles quarterbacks coach. Johnson had a nice upward trajectory through his career, had some success in college at the similar level. Eagles offense could very well lose Shane Steichen as their OC. Johnson could be a candidate there. He might just want to stick around in Philadelphia with the internal promotion stuff. He's got a good group to learn from. Nick Sirianni, Steichen as well. Kind of the Frank Reich-ish coaching tree there. I would love Johnson. I think he's a promising outside candidate, especially if you want to target someone with more of a quarterback's background, since that's a bit of an uncertainty for you, especially long term. Number 9, a name you all know, Nathaniel Hackett, the former Broncos head coach, who there is some overlap here. Of course, Hackett was involved with Matt LaFleur, who came from Tennessee, so there is something resembling some scheme similarity and crossover there. The Packers lose Nathaniel Hackett, and they fall apart offensively. Now, Denver adds Nathaniel Hackett, and they also fall apart offensively, so I'm not really sure Hackett's stock as an OC is where you would think it would be for a former fired head coach. Is pretty disappointing there. The Packers' offense 2021 was 10th in points per game, 10th in yards. Much better. Plus, you already have a great built-in ground game with Derrick Henry. You could probably have just better results overall if you were to add Hackett, if you could actually get that style of offense. Hackett scares me because it was a mess in Denver. It was an absolute mess. Nothing worked properly, and maybe he needs to not go be a play caller right away. Very quick rise, quick fall for Nathaniel Hackett. Who do you guys want to be the next offensive coordinator for the Tennessee Titans? It's going to be somebody. We'll make this the pinned comment on today's video. Some good names coming, by the way. So if the ad break comes here, ignore it. Head down to the comment section. Let me know who you want as the Titans offensive coordinator. Number 8, Matt Nagy. Thanks, Nagy. Yeah, 9 and 8 are not, they're no names, but they're not exactly fun names. He is currently a Chiefs senior assistant, potentially in line if in the event Eric Bieniemy gets to be a head coach somewhere. Kind of feels unlikely here. Nagy has got his job for what he did with Kansas City, with the Bears, and then that Bears offense was an absolute dumpster fire. So Hackett and Nagy stocks way down. Number 7, Pep Hamilton. Now, this one's intriguing because Hamilton is still under contract with Houston as far as I'm aware. They fired Lovie Smith. They would, in theory, bring in a new head coach who, in theory, could run his own offensive coordinator. I think Hamilton's fine as an OC. It's a proven, experienced option. The Texans just suck, as we all know, even though they did, we're not going to talk about that game in the middle of the year. Hamilton is a veteran play caller. I think that is valuable given that the new guy didn't work so well with Todd Downing. Number 6 is Darrell Bevell. Got to keep an eye on for him going to Denver in some capacity. I think Russell Wilson being so bad in Denver helped out the stocks of guys like Brian Schottenheimer and Darrell Bevell. Maybe Bevell even gets a head coaching interview in Denver. He's Dolphins passing game coordinator. Mike McDaniel calls the plays, but again, he's got the background there. And he certainly helped out Miami. They were way better on offense here. Remember, scoring in general kind of down a little bit this year. Better points per game, way better passing yards. Bevell and I think McDaniel and, of course, Tyreek Hill get so much of the credit. Helped out Miami significantly this year. So that's your number 6 candidate. I think the top 5 are really intriguing, and there would be, I think, a bit of a big tier break of like guys I would love to get in the building or realistic names to get in the building for the internal candidate, or I guess keep in the building there. But today's show is made possible by BetUS. Head over to chatsports.com/bet and use promo code CHAT125 for a 125% deposit bonus. That's chatsports.com/bet, promo code CHAT125. $100 down. Get you the deposit bonus. Bet on the playoffs. Maybe you want to bet against Jacksonville. You can bet on a variety of prop bets as well. Do it with our sportsbook partner, chatsports.com/bet, promo code chat125. Number 5, Joe Brady. The stock has been rehabbed in 1 year with Buffalo because that's how it works when you have Josh Allen as your quarterback. I think Brady kind of got the short end of the stick in Carolina. I think Matt Rule just wasn't very good in the NFL, and Brady wanted to throw it, and Rule wanted to run it, and eventually they could run it better once Rule left. Brady was, at one point, it seemed like he was going to be an NFL head coach, and then disaster in Carolina, trying to rehab the stock in Buffalo. The next step is to be a play caller again. The internal candidate to monitor here is Tim Kelly, the current passing game coordinator for Tennessee. I actually don't mind Tim Kelly. I would have been totally on board promoting him to be the play caller as opposed to Todd Downing at the midpoint of the year. He has coordinator experience. He was the OC before Pep Hamilton took over in Houston. He's still fairly young. He's only 36 years old. It would be a bit of a fallback option for me. I would prefer to go somewhere else with mainly my top 2 guys, but Tim Kelly would be the internal candidate there for Tennessee. Number 3, Bill O'Brien, the Alabama offensive coordinator. There is a familiarity and an apparent like there with Mike Vrabel from some overlap-ish with the Saban coaching tree. There he has ties. Good chance, seems like Bill O'Brien jumps to the NFL. Patriots could bring him back. Don't make him your head coach. I was also fairly underwhelmed by the Bill O'Brien scheme for Alabama this past year, but he has NFL offensive coordinator experience. It's a noteworthy name. If Vrabel trusts him, I think that would go a long way. This will, of course, end up being a Mike Vrabel hire, but I have concerns about O'Brien being an obvious upgrade. Like I had concerns this year with the scheme, but maybe it'll get back to form a little bit in the NFL. So be honest with me. Would you want Bill O'Brien as the offensive coordinator? Why for yes and for no? Get those votes in for me in the comments section. Number 2, Kliff Kingsbury, the now fired Arizona Cardinals head coach. Hey, maybe help your passing game a little bit there. Kliff might take some time off. He also just fails upward, so I'm not really sure where next for Kliff. I think he's a little bit overrated, but you're replacing Todd Downing, who sucks. You could do a lot worse than Kliff Kingsbury. Bring him in. Maybe he can help unlock some of the passing game woes you've had in recent years. I hate him as a head coach, but I'm on board in some class with him as an offensive coordinator. But the number 1 name, by a massive margin, you can do no better than hiring Frank Reich as your offensive coordinator. I think it'd probably be a 1-year stint. I think there's a decent chance to get the head coaching job. He got, I'll say, screwed by Indy and Jim Irsay kind of going rogue a little bit there. Frank Reich did a good job with a not great Colts quarterback situation for years in Indy. He has been an OC, Philadelphia, 2016 and 2017. Before he took that Colts head coaching job, the Eagles had the number 3 scoring offense. They could run the ball well. They had a bunch of yards per game. The track record is there. The familiarity, I think, between Vrabel and Reich is there as former sitting coaches in the AFC South. I don't think there's anybody better you could hire than Frank Reich. Now, with that said, not easy to hire him because he could get a head coaching gig. He might want to sit out a year even. We see that time and time again with coaches. I'm very curious where Frank Reich goes, but that should be Tennessee's first call. Call Frank Reich, see if he wants to come save this offense, which should have some new pieces as well. So of all the names on this list, who was your favorite one? Let me know in the comment section right now. Head down there and drop that name. And remember to be subscribed. We will have you guys covered with head coaching interviews or offensive coordinator interviews, lots of off-season coverage, cut candidates, draft free agency, you name it. We're here for you at Titans Today. Hit that sub button right now.